This is the Neewer NP-F970 battery. So the model number for it is TP-F970. So it's a NP-F970 replacement battery. The battery type is lithium ion and it has a capacity of 56.16 watt hours. The output voltage is 7.2 volts. It has a USB-A port which can output 5 volts, and this is an output only port. But it also has a USB-C port on this side, which is both an input and an output port. So it can do USB power delivery up to 20 watts. So it works with 5 volts at 3 amps, or 9 volts at 2.22 amps, or 12 volts at 1.67 amps. It has battery status LEDs, so there are 4 LEDs to indicate the percentage of the battery usage. So 25% full, 50% full, 75% and 100%. And there's a button here that you press to check the battery level. So if I press this now, you can see that 3 LEDs came on, which means the battery is 75% full. The main advantages of this NP-F battery is that it's essentially a power bank. So it has a USB-A port on this side for output only, and on the other side it has a USB-C port which is both in and out. So effectively this is a power bank with 2 ports, one USB-A port and one USB-C port. So aside from this functioning as a power bank, one of the advantages it has in comparison to other NP-F batteries is that you don't need to have a charger to charge it, since you can just use the USB-C port. So that means there's one less thing to carry with you around, and if it ever runs out anywhere, then it's easy to find a charging point for USB-C ports. Whether that's a phone charger or a laptop charger or whatever, you'll be able to get this charged quickly and you don't have to carry extra equipment. And it also streamlines the number of chargers you need to have. So if you just have a USB-C charger, then you can charge all your devices with it, including this NP-F battery. And the other advantage of this NP-F battery in comparison to other NP-F batteries is that you can check the status of the battery on how full it is. So if you press this, it will tell you how full the battery is. So with a lot of NP-F batteries, you typically have to rely on a battery plate or a peripheral to tell you the status of the battery, but with this one, the battery itself will be able to give you that information. In theory, if this battery didn't have these additional features, it might have been marginally lighter, since it wouldn't need to have the necessary electronics for the USB-A port, the USB-C port, and these LEDs. But I think it's a small compromise, and the amount of weight that it adds to the NP-F battery is marginal. And the capacity of this battery is 56 watt hours. So there are other NP-F batteries that have larger capacities, and there are also NP-F batteries that have less capacity, and we're talking about NP-F970 batteries only. So this falls in a good place. 56 watt hours is a solid amount of capacity for an NP-F battery of this type. So to compare this NP-F battery to other NP-F batteries, this NP-F battery, again this is from Neewer as well, has a marginally higher capacity at 57 watt hours, but it doesn't have any USB ports, so you have to carry an extra charger with you. But if you look at the size difference, then you can see that the one with the USB ports is actually bigger, and the amount is bigger is essentially this top bit here, which they've added the USB ports and the LEDs. So with this one, you get marginally more capacity, and it's smaller and lighter. With this one, it's slightly bigger and slightly heavier, but you have USB ports and LED status indicators, and you don't have to carry an extra charger. Whereas with this one, you need to carry an extra charger with you to be able to charge it. So even though it's smaller and lighter, it might end up being bigger if you also consider the charger that you need to carry with it. So Neewer also has a different battery, which is 76 watt hours. So that's 20 watt hours more than this one. But that one weighs 332 grams, so it's heavier. And Neewer also has another NP-F battery which has 76 watt hours, but that one weighs even more at 360 grams. But the advantage of that one is that it has barrel connectors, so you can actually use it for connecting to dummy batteries that take barrel connections, as well as it having a larger capacity. But the disadvantage there is that you also have to carry something which is bigger and heavier. So those are the compromises you need to think about whenever you're choosing a battery. So this is a battery plate that I wanted to show. So this is a Tilta battery plate, and it takes NP-F batteries, and on this side it has 2 DC outputs. So one at 7.4 volts, which is typically what cameras use, and the other one at 12 volts, which is what some monitors or recorders or live streaming devices use. So if you pair this battery with this battery plate, it's really compact and small. And obviously if you put a smaller NP-F batteries, it would stick out less as well. But this is fine because it would also balance any camera lens that sits on in front of this. So when you use this, you get the two barrel connectors, and you also have the USB-A and USB-C on this side. So whichever port you decide to use, you will have them all here: USB-C, USB-A, and barrel connectors. And since it has a large capacity, if you pair this with a small camera like the EM5 Mark III or the EM10 Mark IV, it could run for a very long time. The only thing is, if you're connecting this directly to a camera instead of to something which has locating pins, then make sure you get rid of the locating pins on this side first before you try to attach the camera to it. And this battery plate doesn't have an on-off switch, so as soon as you plug in the NP-F batteries, the light here will come on. And there's a lever type of button here which you press down in order to take out the battery. And just a quick comparison to power banks. So for example, this power bank has a capacity of 96 watt hours, but obviously it cannot provide the NP-F features of this battery. So it doesn't have the flexibility of being able to use the battery directly on a camcorder or a device which requires NP-F connections. Now, if you compare it to this other power bank, this power bank can output 60 watts, but again, it has the same issue. You cannot use it directly with a peripheral such as a monitor or streaming device or directly on a camcorder, which this can do, even though the power output of this one is only 20 watts from the USB-C port. So what this NP-F battery provides is a combination of things, which is the NP-F style battery and the power bank, but the output is less than this one and the capacity is less than this one. So I think this NP-F battery is good for people who want to use it with their peripherals, but they don't want to buy a power bank. Instead, they can just use their NP-F battery as a power bank anyway. So for regular use, you can use it as a power bank, and when you're using it with your camera peripherals, then you use it as an NP-F battery. And this is the unboxing, just so that you know what actually comes in the box. So there's a leaflet for disposal end of life, and the warning leaflet for not disassembling the batteries. And there's a product safety warnings and instructions, and the user manual, and the EU declaration of conformity. And there's a USB-C to USB-C cable, and another USB-C to USB-C cable, since there are two batteries. And this is the battery itself. So it has a cap on it. And also take off the cap, you should be able to see the details on the back of the battery. And there's two batteries obviously, so this is the second one. And that's pretty much all that comes in the box. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this battery, or if you have any experience of these batteries yourself.